Okay, welcome Gianluca. How
Yes,
do you
sir.
say your last name again?
Ruggieri.
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 Ruggieri. Yeah,
Yes.
we just did a funny little video, the Americans in Europe thing,
Yes.
about the Italian accent. That was
Mm-hmm.
funny. I'm a little ignorant. Italian is its own. Does it? How close is it to Spanish, or if at all?
It's very similar. Words kind of sound the same. You know what the phrase in the sentence construction, if that makes sense, is the same.
Yeah.
It's not like in English where first the adjective and then the name, like it's all kind of mixed around and everything. So at least for us Italians, it's kind of easier to listen and to understand very basic, easy Spanish.
Okay.
So it's pretty simple. It's pretty very similar, I would say.
And when
Yeah.
did you move here? How long did you live in Italy for?
So I've been okay. So I'm born and raised in Rome.
Okay.
I moved here at 25 years old. So
Oh
that's
wow. Okay.
5 years ago.
Okay.
So do the math.
Yeah.
But I used to come here every summer
Oh, nice.
because my mom was born and raised in Toronto. My grandparents were originally from Calabria, south of Italy.
Okay.
Moved here in the 60s with the first immigration wave, which is happening again right now because
Yeah.
there's people like me and other Italians that are moving away, sorry. And so she was born and raised here. She went to Rome in her 20s, started living a life over there. And I would basically come here every summer and spend times with my aunts, my uncles, my grandparents. So Toronto's been my second
Home away
home
from
forever.
home, yeah.
Forever.
That's
Forever.
cool. That's cool. So
Yeah.
you didn't really, it wasn't as much of a culture shock when you came here. You kind of understood it.
It wasn't.
Okay.
Because keep in mind, when I would come here in the summer, I was in my grandmother's home. I was hanging out with my aunts, with my uncles. My uncles. I wasn't really exposed to the Toronto life, to the
Right.
Toronto lifestyle. But speaking of different cultures, different backgrounds, and everything, that's been a part of my life forever.
That's really cool because
Yeah.
so I have this. So the skit series we did today, probably some of you know it. It's like the Americans in Europe thing,
Yeah.
right? And that kind of came about when I was telling you a little bit about the story. I was in Spain for the first time, and I just noticed that. So we're Canadian, obviously.
Yeah.
We're in Toronto, but
course.
whenever I go to the States, there's a little bit of a culture difference. But when I go to Europe, it's so huge, and it's crazy to see that it's like it's just people at the end of the day all trying to get by, just be happy, but they're
Yes.
doing it in such a different way
Very
with
true.
such different values.
Yep.
And at the end of the day, we're kind of all getting from A to B. So it stood out to me like how similar we are in the fact that we're all human beings, but at the
Very
same
true.
time how differently we go about life. And we were at this on this nice like beautiful like cliff with a beach overlooking like a beautiful like a forest in Spain, right? And I was like, I told my buddy, yeah, film me for a second. And he thought it was just some stupid like Instagram story,
Yeah.
but which it kind of was. But
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, this would be a perfect spot for a 6-lane highway. And then I kind of just stuff like that, and that just exploded because of
Yeah.
like the culture differences between Americans and Canadians. So I guess
Big time.
what was the biggest, even though you were coming here and you understood like the Canadian culture and American culture to some extent, what was the biggest adjustment for you being living in Italy in Europe for most of your life,
Yeah.
25, right?
Yep.
And then coming here at already like you're an adult, your brain is developed,
Big time.
and then you're dropped in Toronto and you have to live here now. What was like the biggest culture shock for you?
I'll tell you this. The first thing that I've noticed is how here it's constantly go, 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 go.
Right.
Nonstop. When I moved here, I started working at this restaurant downtown, King Taps, and a bunch of colleagues, girls working front of house, guys working front of house, they all had 2, 3, 4 jobs.
Yeah, side gigs.
And that's the first thing that, okay, that's different, right?
Yeah.
And they're also very young, 17, 18, 19 years old. They're already living by themselves. We move out when we're like 30 in Italy. We
Yeah,
move
yeah,
out,
and that's more normal, yeah.
We typically move out of our home either when we have a good sustainable job that allows us to have a good house, a good home, a good apartment, which
Yeah.
is
Hard
say
here.
not the case, but
Yeah.
it's not easy. Or when we get married, or
Yeah.
when we find a companion and we decide to move out with them. That's when you typically move out.
Yeah.
Here, oh, you're 16, you're 17, get out of my house. Go
Yeah.
find a job. You got to work. You got to learn that. Like work, 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 work.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. And my reaction was always chill.
Yeah.
Take it easy. You're living in these humongous homes. You got everything you want. You got everything you need. You have the chance to stay home and save money, but instead you want to make more money so that you can spend it.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's another thing that I've noticed, which translates into something that I always tell everyone. People here are always complaining because they're constantly on the go,
Mm-hmm.
constantly working, constantly doing things. And everyone dreams about, oh, you guys have it all in Italy. La dolce vita, dolce far niente, the art of doing nothing, right? You see
Yeah,
that shit on Instagram all over.
for sure.
The
Yeah,
main difference is that you can do it here too.
yeah.
Like the dolce vita that people refer to, okay, set aside the landscapes, the delicious ice cream, the food, and the piazzas and all that stuff, right?
It's a mindset.
Dolce vita is sitting on a bench
Yeah,
for 2 hours, listening to the birds chirping, drinking water, and
yeah,
just relaxing.
yeah,
Why can't I do it at Trinity Bellwoods or I can't do it at Cedarville or wherever?
yeah.
So whatever people dream about right here, they have it. They just don't realize it.
Yeah, it's that romanticizing of a different lifestyle because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, we're here. We choose to be here, right? And like we could go and move. I have a good friend of mine. I just visited him in Amsterdam. He lives and he grew up with me here. Went to high school here. Went to Queen's University, which is here.
Yeah.
And then he decided he's like because he has family from Europe from Amsterdam. He's visited as well, kind of like you role reversed,
Switch back.
right?
Yeah. Yeah.
He's like, the lifestyle there is exactly what you're talking about. People here, work is life, and people live
Yes.
to work. Whereas in Europe, it's more of a you work to live mentality.
Very true.
And you
Very
go
true.
outside. And I visited him, and I cannot. It's almost like I love going to Europe for vacation specifically because I feel that just like every cell in my body just kind of chills.
Big time.
And
Big
you
time.
go 5 o'clock hits, you go outside, everybody's on the boardwalk having a beer or
Enjoying
like
life,
a
man.
wine,
Enjoying
and
life.
just it's just such a it's a completely different mentality. And I get that it's romanticized here because we'll call it, I don't want to keep saying in America because we're in Canada, but like
Yeah.
I call it like North America. It's
Yeah.
the same
I
capitalistic
agree.
culture. Everybody here, and everything has its positives and negatives, obviously, and that's just the way it is here. And you can like build the American dream here, grow a big business, and
Yes,
then go retire
exactly.
in Italy if you
There
want,
you go.
or go live there. It's like, it's. But I get the idea and the attractiveness of it. So yeah, so the dolce vita. Anything
Yeah.
else? So why did you decide to come here if you were living the dolce vita for 25 years of your life?
Because we want to live the American dream.
Yeah.
It's the exact opposite. When we watch movies in Italy, we see the big houses, we see the big cars, we see the huge lifestyle. Everything's big, everything's amazing, everything's cool. We want that.
Right.
We dream about that.
Right.
Obviously, when you're a kid, but some people, even when they're adults, they fantasize and look at actors and movies as their heroes, as the person that they want to be, right? So deep inside, maybe subconsciously, everyone wants to do that. The same, grass is always greener. Right?
That's exactly what
you
I was about
have
to say.
Everything here, and you want to live a life where you have nothing. You have nothing. You want to live a life where you have everything.
Grass is always greener on the other
I
side.
moved here, man, because of I don't want to say lack of opportunities because it's a bit of an exaggeration. Although I say that there's no work opportunities in Italy. There's like you really can make it.
Yeah.
It's just I just find that there are way more opportunities here, man. I moved here because I saw the potential. I moved here because I saw the potential. I moved here also because Canadian citizen, lucky to do that. In life, we got to use whatever luck we have, right? Take advantage of whatever possibilities that we have that we can use. And I'm a chef from Italy. I
Right.
know I'm going to do well over here, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
So, leap of faith, let's go. And hey, maybe potentially one day live that American lifestyle. Doesn't mean that I have a big house right now. It doesn't mean that I'm driving a big car, whatever.
Yeah.
I have a little fraction of that. But the life that I'm living here allows me to go a couple of times a year on vacation, not worry about major things that you would worry about in Italy, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And but the thing is this, the go life, now I'm the one living that. Because I mean, everything that I personally have, that a lot of people have, we have it because we work our asses off. You want to drive a Rolls Royce, work fucking 4 jobs, work 18 hours a day, work your ass off. You want to drive a little Hyundai, respect for whoever drives a Hyundai.
Yeah.
Get that one job, get your little apartment, and do whatever makes you happy. Doesn't mean that one person is doing it well and one person is doing it not. But at least here, I have the opportunity to reach whatever goal I want to reach.
For sure, yeah. So what do you think now that you've been living the American dream lifestyle, the hustle lifestyle for 5 years? Is it everything it's made out to be, or
It's listen, for what it is right now, absolutely.
yeah,
Absolutely. More than the materialistic things, I just look at my self happiness and the way my mind is relaxed. Like
yeah,
I'm not as stressed out as I used to be when I was in Italy.
interesting.
Maybe, yeah, I'm stressed out
Interesting how like that more hustle bustle lifestyle got you there,
but because I make the best out of what I have.
right?
I don't, that's
Yeah.
the thing.
It might also be like you know, it's I think people in general are they like change, and if they're stagnant in a position too much, whether it's on one side of the pond or the other,
Yeah.
they want to hop over and see what the other side is like,
Big
right?
time, big
So
time.
like I said, my buddy who lived here for his whole life is so much happier there, and I'm asking him, are you going to come back? When he's like, for now, man, I'm living life. I'm
Yeah.
not even thinking about it.
That's what I'm doing, man. Like
Exactly.
I'm here a few years and listen, I love Toronto.
Yeah.
It's a cool city. Summer or spring here is fucking amazing.
Yeah,
Say
yeah.
what you
Fall.
want.
I love
Say
fall
what you,
too.
Fall's the best.
Yeah.
Fall's the best. Those
Yeah.
2 weeks of red and
The
orange
pumpkin
leaves,
spice lattes, man.
amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. But at the same time, winters are fucking dreadful.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the dream,
But we also make the most of it. We have winter sports and
that's
stuff,
the thing.
hockey, right?
That's what I try to tell people. How can you live there at minus 20 degrees?
Yeah.
Put a jacket on.
Put a jacket
hat
on,
and
slap
go
some
out.
knives on your feet, and fucking
That's it.
chase a rubber
That's it. Make-
disc around the pond.
Make the best of whatever you have.
Yeah.
But listen, and I'll tell you this, like it can be you can have the same conversation in Rome, in Italy. Let me translate that. It's 42 degrees today in Rome. Everyone wants to stay inside
Celsius
with
or-
the yeah, Celsius. I don't know what
Shit.
Fahrenheit is.
Yeah.
42 degrees today. My dad sent me a picture.
Oh my god.
So 42 degrees scorching hot and you're
Yeah.
locking yourself inside with the AC.
Yeah, yeah,
How
yeah.
different is that than minus 20 degrees here, locking yourself inside with the heat on?
Yeah,
Is it
that is
different?
different.
You're still home
Yeah.
doing nothing.
Yeah. True.
Shut
true.
up, right?
My friends, that same friend, him and my buddy visited Rome just now a few weeks ago to walk around. I FaceTimed them shortly, and they were telling me that coffee there is like €1 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is insane because that pumpkin spice latte here like $10 American.
I know people that will go to a certain bar because a coffee shop.
Yeah,
we call
yeah.
them bar in Italy.
Yeah.
They'll go to that coffee shop because the coffee's €1. But in this one it's 120.
Yeah.
So like
And he
the
told me
20
he
cents.
still saw like American tourists ordering like they're like, can I get an iced coffee with a thing of vanilla? So
They want it.
they want that shit.
They want
Yeah,
it. They
yeah.
need it. And listen, like I don't judge it. It's okay. It's good.
Yeah.
Listen, like this is what Canada did to me. I was in Italy for a month.
Uh-huh.
After 2 weeks, I was missing Chinese food.
Right. Yeah.
So at the end of the day, like you always subconsciously go back to who you really are. Like,
Yeah,
I'm in
yeah.
American Italy. I want my fucking Americano. Like, just give it to me. Whatever. You'll still be cussed at and offended in front of everyone, of course, but whatever. I worked
Yeah.
as a server for many years in Rome.
Yeah,
You know
I
the
can
shit
imagine
saw,
that. You
man?
walk into like
woo!
you walk into an old man's like classical coffee shop and you order a iced coffee with 50 sugars and he's
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like,
yeah.
you just insulted my family, my grandparents.
Big
like,
time.
punch
My
you in the
heritage,
face.
my everything.
Yeah.
And you won't get it most times.
No, yeah.
No, I can't make it for you.
Yeah.
Bye.
Bye.
Go to wherever.
That's cool.
Go to Milano for that shit.
Go to Milano.
Yeah.
But okay, so what I heard about Rome, I've never been. I just heard that it's like the most touristy place in
It is.
Italy.
It is.
Do a lot of people live in Rome, or is it
Yeah.
mostly people that? Oh yeah.
Oh
Okay.
yeah, Rome's
Okay.
a humongous city.
Okay.
This is the thing. Rome is not just downtown.
Right.
Like people think of Rome, they
Yeah.
think of
The Colosseum.
Colosseum, Vaticano, Altare della Patria, and the list goes
Right.
on. That's
Vatican
like a
City, yeah.
tiny little fraction.
Uh-huh.
Rome is huge.
Uh-huh.
There are so many incredibly beautiful neighborhoods
Yeah.
and areas that people don't know about, and that's where the locals live.
Right.
I live Cinecittà Est, south. Rome is a circle, okay?
Okay.
It's called the Grande Raccordo Anulare. So it's a highway. Like, this is actually fucking genius for me.
Yeah.
The Grande Raccordo Anulare is a circular highway, with all different exits.
Okay.
Every like X kilometers.
Okay.
So, and we have the saying, "Tutte le strade portano a Roma." Every
Yeah,
Rome,
totally. I get it. Yeah.
right? Every
No, I'm kidding. I
road
don't know
leads
what
to
that means
Rome,
at
right?
all.
Every
Oh,
leads to
okay.
Rome
Tutta
because
every- yeah.
the second you hit the Grande Raccordo Anulare, doesn't matter if you live here. You just go around, then you go in. If you live here, you go around, then you go
Yeah.
in. So I'm in the big circle. This is the Vatican City, and I'm right here.
Yeah.
It's like 25-minute drive.
Nice. Two row like
Where do you get?
downtown.
Where
Yeah.
do you get 25 minutes if you drive from here?
In Toronto?
Fucking
Yeah,
Queen?
you get across the
Like-
street and you have to hop over 5 like overdosing crackheads.
Exactly.
No, but it's traffic here has been brutal, man. It's I told you I grew up here. It wasn't like this always.
I always thought that Rome traffic was terrible.
Yeah, no.
This is another, but I don't get it. The city's what 140 years old. How did you not learn
Yeah.
from 2,000
Well,
years? Like
yeah, it's
That's
we
what I
have
don't
our
understand.
infrastructure and like our I don't know what the population now is in Rome, but I would venture to guess it's less than here.
we're at 6 million, if I'm not mistaken.
6 million?
Are we?
Like per capita?
okay, wait.
Yeah.
I can't.
Give that a little Google. I don't know
on,
what it is here now, but it's insane. And I think it's trouble. Our infrastructure was built based on a plan of like, they try to plan all of this out. We're going to build this many roads because we're planning to have this many people. And I think the population just exploded.
3
before-
million. I don't know where I pulled out 6.
What's Toronto now?
3 million?
Toronto's like 6. So Toronto's at least double that in a much smaller space, I'm sure. I think our population exploded faster than
It's
we could
the
keep
same.
up with it.
It's 2017, 2.9. With
Yeah,
COVID,
but
it probably
But think
doubled.
about per capita, right? Like how much space there is for all that.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the real thing.
In the
It's-
GTA, it says.
Oh, GTA. Yeah,
It says
GTA.
GTA.
Okay.
Yeah, that kind of makes sense.
So I don't know what year you looked at in Rome, but anyways, I'm
Yeah,
sure
yeah.
there's more people
It was
per
probably the same,
square
yeah.
meter here than in Rome, and it's bad. But
I live in a neighborhood called Cinecittà Est.
Yeah.
My neighborhood is the most, I don't know how to say this in English. It's the neighborhood with the most people per like square
Oh, yeah?
meter. Well,
Okay.
because we have so many buildings lined next to each
right,
other.
right.
And Cinecittà Est, it's called. Yeah.
So and also in Canada in general, people have this idea that I believe it's the second biggest country in the world after Russia, and then is the U.S. I think it's Russia,
Yeah,
Canada,
I think so.
US.
Yeah, I think so.
And you're like, okay, it's such a big country, but the thing is, what people don't get is that Canada, 99 let's say 99% of the population is located in like 3 hubs
3, 4,
along
yeah,
the border,
exactly.
along the border with the U.S. The rest of Canada, this second biggest country in the world, is fucking empty.
You know, Italy has a larger population than Canada. That's true.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's actually
yeah.
the thing.
And then you think about it on a
It's
map
like that. Yeah, I know.
right?
We're all condensed. It's
Yeah.
all, yeah.
But it's more spread out.
Yes.
Here it's completely condensed in like 3 little dots in like Vancouver, Toronto, and like Montreal. And I'm not gonna say Ottawa because Ottawa's not.
Yeah, I don't know. I've never been. I have no idea.
Yeah. I mean, you're not missing out on much.
Yeah.
Whereas, yeah, in Italy it's at least more spread out, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, all right, let's get back to you being a chef
Yes.
in Italy. What's your where did you work in Italy? What's your favorite like dish to cook?
Execution wise, I love making risotto.
Risotto.
Oh my god.
Okay.
It just makes me so happy, man.
It does. Why? And we talked about
The
this a
thing-
little bit. I am zero. I cook a little bit. I know how to make like scrambled eggs
Okay.
and oatmeal. Maybe bacon.
Okay, man.
Half of the time I fuck it up.
Scrambled eggs, there are 150 ways of cooking an egg.
Yo, apparently
It's not easy to master the perfect scrambled egg.
I'm actually pretty good at making scrambled eggs, and I learned from Chef Ramsay.
That's the way I make. That's the way everyone should be making it.
Yeah.
I've always made them that way my whole life.
Yeah, he has
It's gotta
a
be
video.
Creamy. It doesn't
Yeah,
have to
yeah,
be
yeah.
that one.
Yep.
But not. I put like
Apparently,
a tenth of the butter he does.
some like
probably.
super fancy French culinary school. The final exam is making scrambled eggs.
Yeah, yeah. It doesn't surprise me.
Yeah.
It doesn't surprise me.
Because it requires like see that's actually interesting because so you're a chef obviously and I'm a trained chemist. I have a master's degree in chemistry.
cool.
Before I went into comedy, it's a whole other
Yeah.
life. But I truly the few times that I did try to apply myself to cooking, I saw the parallels so much because it's a science and an art at the same time.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
A classic example is scrambled eggs. It
Yeah.
requires touch, feel.
Yes.
You know what I
Yes.
mean? You can't
Correct.
just crack, put the oven on this heat
No,
for this
no,
long. You
that's
have
not
to.
how it works.
It's
That's
all
not how it
feel
works.
and
Yeah.
touch and experience,
Which is
combined with the recipe and the scientific
correct,
part of it.
Correct. It's funny we pulled out scrambled eggs and the risotto because it's kind of a similar preparation.
Just for
It's a very butchered thing that I'm saying, but go on.
what
I
is
wanna
a
try.
risotto exactly?
A risotto is
Risotto.
a risotto. So risotto is a rice dish.
Okay.
Rice can be cooked in many, many ways.
Uh-huh.
It can be steamed, it can be broiled, it can be boiled. Basically, what you do, risotto is kind of a combination of all the cooking techniques that you can think about combined into one pot.
Yeah.
Because basically, what you're doing is you're toasting the rice and you're slowly adding a liquid that cooks the rice
Yeah.
by allowing the rice to absorb the
Steam,
liquid
yeah,
itself.
yeah,
So it's
okay.
not steaming. It's
Oh.
kind of like braising,
Okay. Okay.
more of that. But you have to control the amount of water that you put inside. I'm going to say water as a liquid because
Mm-hmm.
depending on what what risotto you're making, you will use a lobster bisque, you'll use a veggie stock, you'll use a bone broth. It depends on what you want your rice to taste like, right?
Okay.
But the thing is that you have to be able to control the amount of liquid that you put inside the rice, the temperature. You want to stir it because by stirring it, you're allowing the rice not to cook and you're allowing the temperature to distribute uniformly all around the whole pot. And in 18 minutes, a rice that was this little boring grain, hard and raw, turns into this creamy deliciousness.
Okay.
And it's not just cooking the rice. So you toast the rice, you add the water slowly as you're mixing it. When the rice is cooked, you add butter, you add parmigiano. Doesn't matter what risotto you're making. You add butter and parmigiano, you mix it up and you emulsify all that fat into the rice and the water and it turns out to cream. So apply that technique and then you can make your seafood risotto. You can make your
Right.
your sweet pea risotto. You can make your radicchio and gorgonzola risotto. There are so many that you can think about, but it's like a scrambled egg. You have to constantly be around it, look at it, massage it, twirl it on the heat, half the heat, because if not, you're gonna cook it too much, right? Mm-hmm. That's why I like risotto, man, because you cuddle it.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like you're
It's like a
cuddling
live
it.
thing. Yeah.
It's a lot. Yeah.
It's a
You
performance.
see it come to life.
Yeah.
So that's why I love it so much.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I wish I was. Yeah. I don't know if it's kind of like a patience thing or because I definitely have the interest in learning how to cook, and I've had phases where I learned how to like oh, I want to make this and I really want to make like these, like we were talking about. When I get into my fitness phases, I learn how to make like high protein, like
Yeah.
anabolic dishes and whatever, like French toasts, anabolic French toast,
Yeah,
all
yeah.
that kind of stuff. I don't know. I feel like maybe it's a patience thing. Maybe it's
It's well,
because you would think like if any skill, this is like you eat every single day of your life, at least, ideally, but
you obviously
yeah.
listen, you obviously have to enjoy it.
Yeah.
You have to enjoy cooking. If you don't enjoy, your food's going to taste like shit.
yeah,
If I'm having a bad day, you can
that's
be
the
as
key
trained as you
ingredient
want.
in every dish.
You can be
Love.
as trained as you want. When I'm having a bad day, my dishes don't turn out as good as they should. It
Yeah,
happens.
yeah,
I don't know
yeah.
why. I don't know how. It just happens.
So how does Gordon Ramsay do
terrible.
it if he
He
cooks
has
with?
other people cooking for him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a smart
He seemed
guy.
like every dish he's ever cooked, it was with hate.
Listen, Gordon Ramsay is a G.
Yeah.
Like people judge that guy because he's on TV, he's screaming, he's shouting.
At the end of the day, I get
It's
it.
TV.
It's an entertainment
It's a
thing.
show. It's an entertaining thing. I recently did a cooking show that's gonna come out very soon, and it's all like they tell you how to walk, how to talk, what to do, what not to do. You gotta entertain people.
Yeah.
That's how it is, right? And but that guy's a G. Like he knows his shit. He's
Yeah.
not an idiot.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
love
for sure.
watching. I love watching Kitchen Nightmares.
Uh-huh.
In Kitchen Nightmares, the dude visits different kitchens
Yeah.
all around. I think he did like all around the world. And the guy literally sees the problem, uses his experience and knowledge, changes the menu, changes the everything, and sets it up to success.
Yeah.
You think that's like an easy thing? You think you have to be like anyone
No.
can do that?
By no means.
Exactly, right?
Yeah.
The cooking, like The guy knows what he's doing. There's this episode where they're talking about pasta. It's him and Gino da Campo. He's that big teeth Italian guy that gave shit to someone on live TV because they put mushrooms in the carbonara or whatever, right?
Okay.
And they're making pasta. And Ramsey's like, I know I make pasta better than you. Gino da Campo, the Italian, oh, what the fuck are you saying? That's
yeah.
Right? Che cazzo dici? Da, da, da. And Ramsey was like, I got trained by the best Italian chefs for years in restaurants, making ravioli on ravioli on ravioli.
Yeah.
Who do you think, like, realistically speaking, who makes better pasta, me or Ramsey? Me because I'm Italian? No.
Right.
Whoever made more in his life.
Yeah.
That's why my grandmother and my nonna used to make the best ones because she made it for 60, 70 years.
Yeah.
No shit, they make amazing pasta.
Yeah. And that's actually...
With everything that works, obviously.
So is that, like, obviously there's the stereotype Italian pasta, right? Would you say that is the signature dish?
Yes.
Say I go to Italy, say I go to Rome, first time ever, one day I'll visit. Where do I go first? What do I eat?
Pasta.
Pasta
because this is the thing. Hear me out on this. Pasta is not one dish.
Yeah.
There are hundreds
obviously
of different formats, hundreds of different shapes. We as Italians will only eat a specific kind of shape with a specific kind of condiment.
Damn, that's kind of like pasta
absolutely.
racism.
It is.
I don't like those circular pastas.
It is, man. I will never have a small pasta with cacio e pepe sauce.
Yeah.
I will never have.
Would you say living in Toronto and like during Pride Month expanded your pasta love, kind of, towards other pastas?
I love it, man. Always loved it. Always did.
I get what you're saying. That's crazy. The only different shapes. What does the shape do? It's just like the mouthfeel, I guess,
just
right?
Tastes better, man.
Yeah.
I can't explain it. It just tastes. Yes, the mouthfeel, the way you feel it on your palate, the way you bite into it. Obviously, I think that filled pasta is a totally other category.
Yeah.
Because you're stuffing it with other things. So that, like, there's pasta and there's stuffed pasta for me. I think anyone can agree with me on that. It depends, man. Like biting into a spaghetto or biting into a penna are two completely different experiences. Not to say that one tastes better than the other one. It's just different. Sometimes you're not crave, like that happens to me. I don't crave tomato sauce, pasta with tomato sauce. I crave fucking spaghetti with tomato sauce. Like it's very, very specific. And even long pasta, there are angel hair spaghettini. I'm not making this up. Angel hair spaghettini, spaghettoni, tonnarelli, fettuccine, pappardelle. The list goes on. It's still a long pasta, but one's thicker, one is thinner. So it's a different mouthfeel. It's like, I always compare this to burgers.
Right.
One thing is eating a triple patty smash burger, and one thing is eating a burger with one patty this thick.
Right.
It's a different bite. You're still having the same amount of meat, but it's a different bite. Think about it. That's why I think smash burgers is on another fucking level compared to any other meat sandwich you can think about. Same thing with pasta. That's how it works. Rice is the same thing. If you're having jasmine or you're having carnaroli, it's still rice.
Different types of rice.
But it's different.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that makes a lot of sense. So pasta is the way to go. You guys are serious about your coffee too. I know that.
Yes, very much.
Are you a coffee person?
We're serious about our espresso.
Espresso.
When you go to Italy and you order for a coffee, you get an espresso.
Yeah.
It's not like here where it takes me 10 minutes to order.
Yeah.
Espresso, long or short? Sugar, no sugar.
Done. Yeah.
Espresso, a
Very
box
simple.
here, bye.
Yeah.
Am I a big coffee person? I drink coffee because I love the taste of it.
I agree, yeah.
I will go a week without drinking coffee, no problem. I don't need my coffee or my espresso in the morning to activate.
Fair.
I can drink... Listen, sometimes I have an espresso before going to bed.
Yeah.
Because I just love the flavor. Doesn't keep me awake.
Yeah, some people are like that. I try to avoid coffee. I feel like in university at one point I got a little bit too dependent on it. And then now that I'm more making my own schedule, I try to avoid it. Because I don't have to force, I kind of make my own day, so I don't have to force myself to do anything mostly. And it's more of I think maybe because of partially the caffeine, partially the taste, it was just getting me over this like morning depression, you know? Something to look forward to.
Yeah.
I think it helps looking like looking forward to your day, if you're waking up like today, you know, we filmed our skit, we have the podcast, I have some shows to do. And when you're looking forward to your day, you don't need it as much. I think that's why you see people in Middle America, and that's actually the Dolce Vita in Italy.
Yeah.
They look at it. I feel like this is interesting. I never really thought about it this way. I feel like in the U.S., coffee is looked at more as like a drug, as a way to like self-medicate.
Yes. Yeah.
Whereas in Italy and in Europe, it's more of a pleasure. It's a taste.
social
It's a-
situation.
yeah.
It's a coffee. We say this thing. This is very romantic. A coffee is an excuse to tell someone you love them. When I invite you over for coffee,
yeah.
it's the social situation. Maybe we're not even having coffee. But and again,
Fair,
we're living
yeah.
the Dolce Vita. Let's go to a coffee shop, have a coffee. How long does it take to sip an espresso?
Right. Yeah. You can just
Four
yeah,
seconds.
Yeah.
And then you magically sit at the same table for 2 hours.
Yeah.
Smoking 55 cigarettes. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
our drug.
Yeah.
I quit that. Thank God. Best thing I've done in my life.
Is there a lot more smoking in Europe? You would say?
Big time.
Yeah.
Big time. Italy, 1,000,000%.
Fair.
A 1,000,000%.
Because people
Everyone
here
smokes in Italy.
People here still smoke, but I feel like it's much more taboo here.
Yes,
and I
it
noticed
is,
that, like
it
at
is.
restaurants, like
Yeah.
you have to go outside. There's
Yep.
a smoking area,
Yep.
whereas maybe there, can you still smoke inside at some?
Not inside.
Not inside?
I think that ended in like the 90s or something.
Okay,
something like
okay,
that.
yeah. So it's still like that, but
because I remember, I know I was very, very young when they stopped that.
Yeah.
But and listen, I can tell you about Italy in general,
yeah,
because when we use the big word Europe, Italy is different than Spain.
obviously,
different
yeah.
than Holland, Romania, France, and everything.
I'm
right?
just an
It's-
ignorant American when I say
it's
that.
okay,
Yeah,
it's okay.
No,
That's
but
how you learn, right? But
they are different. But at the same time, like I said, that's like it's the same thing here, right? Like like the U.S. is very different than Canada,
Big
which is
time,
very different
big
from
time.
like
Yep.
you know, I mean, it's really just the U.S. and Canada. What else do we have? But that's where I say North America in general,
Yes.
and within the places there is like
yeah,
I think
you can. Yeah,
even in the U.S. and in Canada, different provinces, more so different states are very different. Like Seattle is very different from Texas.
Okay.
That kind of thing.
I haven't
right?
been to the U.S. a lot, so I wouldn't even.
Yeah. So
how many
that
times
I
I've
would
been.
say I would say American states are more comparable to like European countries,
Yep.
if you know what I
Okay,
mean.
yeah, that's fair.
You take
That's
Europe
fair.
as the United States,
fair.
and like Italy would be, what's a comparison? You know, some like Texas would be, I don't know. California, I would say would be like the Netherlands, very progressive, and
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Texas would be maybe Italy.
Could
Let's
be,
call
man. Hey,
Texas
yeah,
Italy.
could
They
be,
both
it
have
could be.
interesting shapes,
Yeah.
and they like to wear funny hats. You
Yes,
know,
we do that a lot. We do that a lot.
yeah.
I think that if we can generalize about Europe in general, it's not about the food. I had food in Europe that was shit.
Yeah, obviously, there's
I'm not
shitty
gonna say
food
the country
everywhere.
because I don't
yeah.
want to offend anyone, but
Say it.
oh God, man, I went to Budapest
Okay.
once, and it's the first and only time in my life that I went to. I think it was a night market or something.
Uh-huh.
I ordered a platter of food. I had a taste, and I threw it in the garbage, man.
Wow.
It was that. Oh no! And even recently, I was in. Where was I? Salzburg with my sister.
Where the fuck is that?
Austria.
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 Wow.
Salzburg. One
Yeah.
of the most beautiful cities, man.
Yeah.
Salzburg is. It's the place. It's
Austria is
gorgeous.
I do want to visit Vienna.
Vienna is out of this world.
Yeah.
Vienna's out of this world.
Obviously.
My favorite cities in Europe are Salzburg, Budapest, which is funny because that's where I
Where the
had
shittiest
worst
food, yeah.
but the city is
Yeah.
it's like Prague on another level.
Maybe
And
that's
Prague
they
is
have so
incredible.
much. They have such a nice city. They don't have time to sit around and eat.
They don't have to.
enjoying it.
They don't have to. But yeah, the love for food for sure, but it's the lifestyle. Yeah, we can generalize that.
The one city that I wasn't a fan of in Europe that I visited was Brussels.
I've never been.
Yeah.
I've never been.
It's kind of, I don't know. I was only there for a day, to be fair, but I walked around and I was like, meh.
I was
You
in
know?
Frankfurt. I found kind of
Germany?
boring. Yeah.
Yeah.
Berlin
Okay.
is fun.
Yeah.
Berlin, I went there. We went on school. That's the beauty of Italy.
I really want to go to Germany.
Our school trips in Italy. I went to Barcelona and I went to Berlin. for
Oh,
school
nice.
trips in
That's
Italy.
awesome.
Yeah.
That's what you know what? That's one thing. And again, I'll generalize Europe. It's crazy. I don't realize how relatively close everything is in
Yes.
Europe.
Yep.
Because like So I went to see my friend in Amsterdam, and I look at the map, and I'm like, "Yo, we can literally like day trip France,
Yep. You
Brussels,
can. You could.
which is Belgium.
No problem.
We can do. There was like 3 other countries we can visit, and like all these like I'm very into like
You can do
history, like World
Yeah.
War II. So there's all
Okay.
these like amazing. Obviously, the Netherlands was right in the middle of that,
Big
so
time.
we could have went to like Normandy, fucking Dunkirk, right? Like
You
all
can
these
do
cool
10
places.
You can do 10 countries in 10 days if you want.
Yeah,
Think about it. You do fucking you go to Italy. You go a couple of hours north, you have France right over there.
Yeah.
Spain, Portugal.
yeah,
Or you want to go east,
yeah.
Germany, Austria, Switzerland, Germany, Holland up there.
Right.
Then all the Eastern Europeans. Croatia's on the other side of Italy.
Yeah.
But and that's with countries.
Uh-huh.
With cities in Italy, dude, that's like it's funny because you think of Rome and Naples, two completely different cities, two completely different. They're 2 hours away.
Yeah.
I'm going to
True.
Blue Mountain on Saturday.
Fair, yeah.
Just for fun, like we're just spending a weekend with a buddy of mine, and that's 2 hours away. If I was in Italy, I could have gone to Tuscany in 2 hours. I could have gone to the Amalfi Coast in 2 hours from
Yeah.
Rome.
Yeah.
Right?
Blue Mountain, that's the thing, right? Like if you want to go somewhere nice here, it's all like it's just I would say bigger, more spread out, much
Yes.
more
A
infrastructurally.
lot of space.
Oh yeah, and the cars, everybody's just guzzling gas to get everywhere. Whereas the trains, man, in Europe are again generalizing here, but I think it's a fair thing to say. Like I was so impressed with the public transport. Trains,
Yeah, huh?
you can go everywhere by train.
I don't
and-
understand why they don't do it here.
Yeah,
I do not understand that. How
I
we
think- I
don't
think
have
it's-
high speed trains.
I think
here.
think about like how old Europe is. Again, like there's the whole like America's history in general is the natives and then the
Yeah, of
European
course.
colonizers.
Yeah.
So the infrastructure is very rudimentary compared to
Mm-hmm.
what you guys have in Europe because those tracks and the most of the train stations in Europe are older, 5 times older than the
Oh,
country.
big time.
The
country
modern
is-
country
yeah.
of America,
Yeah, very
right?
true.
Or fucking Canada or the
Very
US. So you guys have had time to establish these routes and everything is just is so smooth the way it runs.
But hear me out on this. Here we have space and technology.
yeah.
What else are we missing?
Yeah.
Not manpower,
Mm-hmm.
not budgets, not what.
Yeah.
Why aren't we building fucking 2 hour trains?
Bullet
That
trains.
get that's the word.
Yeah.
Why can't I get to Montreal in 2 hours?
Yeah.
Why?
I think they're trying to do that, but they keep
Or
that's
around
that's a
Canada.
whole other thing, man.
Yeah.
The governmental issue with like spending and like everything that's going on in Canada and in the US, it's just you know what? Like we can sit here and talk about like I don't think European politics is in a great spot either. I'm not I don't
I'm honestly I'm not that like
yeah.
on politics in
Exactly,
general, whether
me
it's
too.
Italian, Canadian. Italian, yeah. For what it's worth, from what I know, obviously from living there and everything, but I don't know how shit works.
But what I do hear is people always talk about it and complain.
Everyone
Again,
always complains.
Italians saying, "Oh, I'm coming to America. It's so much better here," and then Americans saying, "We suck. I want to go there." And
Grass is greener.
Grass is always greener.
We were saying that earlier. It works like
Yeah.
that for everything.
So I think people over exaggerate. Like you can read a headline in the news and be like, AI is gonna kill everyone, or like the president
Yeah,
is
that's the thing now.
has Alzheimer's and
Yeah,
like we're
yeah.
fucked but like I don't think we were ever think about like when people look back at the good old days, we had like in recent history we had 2 huge world wars and then there was a small sliver, maybe a decade in the 50s of like somewhat peace, and then there was the Cold
Right.
War and
Yep.
there was nuclear threats and we were always like on the verge of like the sky is falling.
Big time.
So I think at the end of the day, we get past it, and then we're like, oh, weren't those the good old days? I think we're pretty resilient. We're kind of like humans are like cockroaches. We just survive. You
Yeah,
know?
we do. We do. That's how it works.
So I don't think it's that big a deal, and I think the key is maybe to sit and have an espresso sometimes, or
And
maybe
enjoy life for whatever we have, man.
yeah, don't go
Use
on.
what we have.
Don't read as much news and try to learn how to make a nice risotto.
Exactly.
Right? That's
Exactly.
a better way to spend your energy. So you came here, and what's your favorite? We talked about your favorite food in Italy. What's your
Yes.
favorite food here in Toronto that you've tried? How have you expanded your palate?
Chinese.
Chinese?
Dude, Chinese food. So, Italian and Chinese are the only 2 cuisines I would eat every day of my life.
That's
The only two.
interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love Thai food. I wouldn't have it every day.
In my
For
mind,
example.
when I think of Chinese, I think also noodles.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
So
There's
it's the Italian in your heart.
they kind of invented them, man.
I mean, not
Water
kind,
and
more than
flour
kind
pulled
of.
together
Yeah.
and stringed up like they did. We
Yeah.
perfected.
If we're talking
It's
about,
not like we perfected the noodle. We just expanded them.
yeah,
We came up with the hundreds of different shapes.
yeah,
Where in China, like there are dozens of different noodles in Chinese cuisine.
yeah,
There's a thick one. I don't know the terms. I don't know the technical words. The thick one, the thicker one, the thin one, the hand pulled one. There's
yeah.
so many different ones. The same way we have many different shapes, and they're different. They know how to make it. They're the fucking masters at it, man.
That's true.
The fried rice that they do like the Chinese fried rice, man, is
Is good.
it's not easy to find a really good and legit one over here.
Right.
I don't know what legit is, but I do have many Chinese friends, people that have been to China and know the real difference on what it should be like. I had like a couple that are. I'm not saying that the other ones are gross.
Yeah.
The other ones are obviously still amazing, but if you're thinking of what's the most authentic one, I had one or two.
Yeah.
Again, I haven't been there. People told me that it was authentic. And sometimes authentic doesn't mean it's the best.
Right.
That's another thing that I wanna that people don't understand.
Do you like chai tea?
I think I never had it. What is chai tea?
Like no, just chai or tea. Like tea. Do you like
Oh,
tea?
yeah,
Yeah.
love it, love it.
Because
love
I
it.
don't know. Do they do tea in Italy where you're from? Is that a big thing or no?
We have tea before going to bed.
Okay, fair. I
It's
feel
just
like
a
it's
little,
interesting
like,
because
just a warm drink to have.
what do you guys call it? How do you say tea in Italian? Te. Okay,
Te.
so you know what's interesting? I just saw it's like depending on in Russian, it's chai,
Oh, cool.
right?
Okay.
So depending on where you go, it's like a split 50-50 between it's always either chai or tea or
Okay.
some variation of
Yeah,
like
yeah, yeah.
te, tea,
Yeah.
te, chai, chi,
Okay.
chai, right?
Cool.
Depending on I think the two most ancient cultures that kind of developed that when it was like a new thing, it was either China or like India, right? And depending on the trade routes, so which trade route your country is bordering, you either call it chai or tea,
yeah.
right? So and yeah,
Cool.
because and I know in Eastern Europe, or at least in Russia and Ukraine, I don't think coffee is as big a thing. It's more we're heavy on the tea.
Tea, yeah?
Yeah,
I didn't
we're
know
heavy
that.
on the chai.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Cool.
So Chinese, and isn't that interesting that you came to Toronto and you discovered Chinese food, right?
Well, I came to Toronto and I discovered all the different
Yeah.
like
It's very
foods, all the
it's a
different-
melting pot of different cultures.
Beautiful.
Would you
man.
say you would be able to have good Chinese food anywhere in Rome?
Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely not.
Not a single place.
No. Okay.
Yeah.
Not as good as the one that you have over here.
Fair.
Not as nearly authentic to the one that you have over here. Although here you have the Chinese American food.
Yes.
Because people that have been to China and had real Chinese
Yeah, like fried
food
orange chicken.
obviously
and
said that
shit.
it's
yeah.
no, they don't do that, right?
Yeah.
No, I've never. You have Chinese food. This is the thing. Wherever you go in the world, a restaurant is a business. Restaurant has to sell. The Cantonese fried rice in Italy, hear me out. It's rice with eggs, prosciutto, ham, and peas.
Yeah.
Because that's what Italians like to
hilarious.
eat. That's the way they sell it. And when I talk to my friends, I had the best Chinese. It has fucking ham in it.
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
It's not real. It's not.
You
the
had
way it should be.
Italianese.
Italianese you had, literally.
Yeah.
Chitalian, however you want to call it.
No, that's so true.
But here, man, I discovered so many different cuisines. Like, I can eat a different cuisine every day if I want.
No, absolutely.
If I want, and that's what I love about it.
And it is as authentic as you're gonna get because these are all first generation immigrants that came here trying to open a business and it's as authentic as it is gonna be and you have access to all the ingredients.
Yep.
And you have because at the end of the day the authenticity comes from the person,
Absolutely.
right? The chef.
Absolutely. Yep.
Like
yep.
their touch that they put on it.
Has a lot
That's
to
where
do
it
with
comes down to like I guess the feel of the food, right? Like if there's somebody that grew up in China and has been making it traditionally his whole life, just come here, get the right ingredients, and you're transported to that place that he grew up.
Well,
the way
listen,
that he made
like
it.
living here 5 years made me want to have different cuisines every day.
Right.
I cook for we don't go to me and my girl. We don't go to restaurants out a lot. We'll go on a special occasion. We'll have a date night once, twice a week, right? Something like that. But when I'm cooking home, well, when I have my events once or twice a week, luckily I always I get a little bit extra for what I have to cook, and I cook that for myself, right? But we'll have Mexican night once a week.
Yeah.
We'll have Chinese night once a week. We'll try and experiment. Oh, let's do a Thai dish today. Let's do an Argentinian meat today, right? So I like to vary, and that's what this is like. What it did to me is I was in Italy for a month. After 2 weeks, I was craving something that wasn't Italian.
Yeah.
I was eating buffalo mozzarella every single day. I was eating buffalo mozzarella in Italy. Every day.
That's funny.
I was eating prosciutto. I was eating every day.
Yeah.
But then I missed it, which is why the American goes to Rome and wants his Americano.
Yeah.
My girlfriend was there for 3 weeks, and she missed her big coffee, man. Like,
Yeah,
say
yeah,
what
yeah.
you want. Like, at the end of the day, like,
I'm
you
sure they
gotta
still
do-
have like Starbucks and McDonald's there.
They do.
It's-
Oh,
yeah.
McDonald's in Italy is just fucking amazing.
huge institution.
I can't believe last time I had it, but
It must be
it's-
different. They
it's
must
insane.
adjust to the.
The meats are better in Italy.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, McDonald meat is way better
Wow.
in Italy than it is here.
Yeah, they can't pass the
McDonald's
same
in general
bullshit
is
they
better.
sell here.
You can't do that.
There, they
It's
it's
way
still
better.
fast food, but
And then
it's
they
on
have
another level. Probably.
It's funny you see you know how they do the signature McDonald's sandwiches here.
Yeah.
There they do it with like fucking there's the Asiago special.
Yeah.
There's the guanciale
Yeah.
and provolone special. It's
Yeah.
which is like a normal sandwich that you would make for yourself, but it's a multi-billionaire
they-
chair like McDonald's serving it.
Yeah, they adjust. I wonder, like, being a chef and being literally like a professional food maker. Are you very picky about what you eat,
No.
or no?
Listen, there is not, and I will put my fucking hand on fire. There is not one chef in the world that does not eat junk food or fast food or goes to shitty restaurants.
Why do you say
A
that?
chef that only eats fine dining is a fucking asshole
Okay.
because it's you're lying to yourself.
Uh-huh.
We grew up eating anything but fine dining, anything
Right.
but fine food. Don't spit in the plate where you've been eating.
Right.
It's not true. We don't listen. I had McDonald's last week.
Yeah.
Because I didn't know what to eat. I was in a rush. I was running errands. Let me grab something quick.
Yeah.
It's not disgusting.
Fair.
Okay, if you look at what's inside of it, yeah.
Yeah.
For sure. But it's comforting.
It's still food, and you
It's
don't always
still
have
food,
the
like,
time to
I'll get a farmer's
prepare
wrap
everything.
every here and there. I'll get a
Yeah.
little
Yeah.
you go to the food hall at Yorkdale or whatever, and you get your little Chinese platter, whatever
yeah,
it is.
that the American
Okay.
Chinese.
It's not healthy, whatever, but you still eat it. And the classic example is, Anthony Bourdain, right? That everyone idolizes right now,
Yeah.
right? Because he is one of the first chefs that showed love for his food, that showed love for his
Right.
his craft and everything, right?
yeah.
Everyone wants to idolize him. Look at his favorite restaurants. They're not the best restaurants in the world.
Yeah.
There are restaurants that maybe took him back home mentally, that reminded him of a dish that they had when they were a kid.
Restaurants that serve booze for sure.
For sure, that guy, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
But that's
I do actually. I've recently watched Parts Unknown, or one of his shows, and
Yeah.
he went to Japan.
Mm-hmm.
I watched that episode, and it was really cool. I like the way he did that show.
Mm-hmm.
He really he embodies what we were talking about. Like I feel like when he goes to a place to try a dish, he doesn't necessarily focus on the dish. He focuses on the people making the dish.
big time.
I think that's a part of why he
Makes such a huge
got
difference.
that,
Yeah.
and he translated that through his show. He was
Yeah,
much more about
absolutely.
the places and the people.
Yes.
And the food was, even though it was technically a food show, not even Parts Unknown, it was more of a travel show. But like, if you think about it, so that it's both sides. It's like, it's more of a, food is a huge factor in it, and the people are a huge, and it's not either one of them. It's the blend. It's the mesh.
It's the emotional component that there is behind the
For
food
sure.
or the dish or whatever you're making that makes it taste better. If
Yeah.
if I give you a plate of pasta that a professional chef made, or I give you a plate of pasta that a grandmother made for his granddaughter, which one's going to taste better?
right.
Say what you want. Nonna's is going to taste better because there's
Yeah.
the love behind it. There's the story. There's those
Yeah.
old 95-year-old wrinkly hands that have made hundreds and hundreds of pounds and kilos of pasta in her life that just transmits something else. And that's what he did. And that's what I think everyone should do.
Yeah.
And that's why, going back to what I was saying earlier, there is no chef that only eats at fine dining or is extremely picky of what you eat. No, I just have this, I just have that. When we're working 16-hour shifts, what do you think? We sit down at our little table and we have our little gourmet plate and shit. No, you grab a little fucking Subway sandwich real quick, you eat it in the back, and then you go and serve. Like,
that's a funny picture to imagine. Just like a Michelin star chef just pounding a McDouble and then making a 5-star meal. Yeah.
I've done that. I've seen it. I've never worked in Michelin, but I've worked in restaurants for years. Fine dining, lower dining, pizzeria, steakhouses, you name it.
Yeah.
There's this common factor that ties us all together, which is we eat everything, man.
Yeah.
Food becomes survival when you're working, obviously, right?
Yeah. And I think that like food and music and like that emotional factor that we were talking about, like why Nonna's, dish tastes better than the best dish money can buy is because like it's kind of like, when you hear a song from your childhood and it brings you back there, and or you smell a certain smell.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
Food and music and art is so interconnected in that way.
I agree.
It's so based on human emotion.
Yes.
It's a non-tangible, right?
I agree.
Which is why, I feel like it's interesting that I'm a trained scientist technically, and that like analytical mind and that emotional mind is such a, it's food brings it together in such a cool way where you can like have you can call it a science, but it's such an art at the same time, right?
Yep.
And you're really bringing the two things together.
Absolutely.
So that's really cool. And is there any like American dish that you actually like that you've been here? You said you like smash burgers.
Listen, man,
can you even say that there is such a thing as American cuisine? What is American? It's too young of a country because everything we take is from other. Burgers aren't necessarily.
When I think of American, I just think grease.
Grease,
Oil. I think oil,
saturated fats.
That's what I think about. I think. Listen, like, and this is the thing, and I'll close with this because I got to rush.
Yeah.
This is
we're
and
good.
this is the thing about American cuisine. So this is my example. I was in Chicago in November.
Deep dish.
Yes. I was in Chicago in November for my 30th birthday. It's been my long life dream to go to this 3 Michelin star restaurant called Alinea.
Okay.
The head chef is Grant Achatz. He's on Chef's Table. Watch his episode. Listen to his story. That guy is insane. A lot of my dishes, my cooking style is inspired by the guy.
Okay.
He's the guy that says food cannot be good if you don't have an emotional component behind it. Right, and that's what I live by when I prepare my recipes. Every item that I have on the menu has a story. Whether it's I decided to put onion because onion's my sister's favorite thing to eat, or this is a reinterpretation of a snack that my grandmother used to make for me. I have butternut squash pasta on the menu because we used to do Thanksgiving every year at my house to show our Italian friends what American Thanksgiving is all about. And my mom's signature dish was her butternut squash soup. So I want people to have that 365 days of the year. Emotional component behind it, right? So I'm in Chicago. You got to try Chicago deep dish, right? It's not a pizza. Pizza's a flat piece of dough thrown in the oven with tomato sauce, mozzarella, basil at the very end, right?
They call it a pie, right?
That is an actual pie because it's deep. It's
Yeah.
loaded with cheese. It's crispy on the edges, and it's got pepperoni on top. Oh, that's fucking disgusting. How can you eat that? You're having bread, sauce, cheese, and pepperoni.
Yeah.
How can that possibly be bad?
Yeah.
And that's what I hate about people. This common thing about saying that something is disgusting because it's different.
Mm-hmm.
It tastes amazing, man. Like, how can you say that the combination of those 4 ingredients doesn't taste good?
Yeah.
If you put a shitload of garlic in it and spices and this and that and you undercook it, obviously it's going to be disgusting.
And then you wash it down with some Mountain Dew and you have yourself
Pour
a
it down
day.
and you're good to go, right?
A little Dr. Pepper. Hey, man.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
so but that applies to everything that you possibly eat, man.
No, absolutely. It's all about the mindset at the end of the day.
That's
you know,
what it is.
You choose to like it or not like it, or yeah. Like if you're rich or poor, the difference is your mindset. It's like if you want
Makes a huge
things, you'll
difference.
always be poor. You can be the
Yeah.
richest man in the world.
Exactly.
It's all about being happy with
Exactly.
what you got.
Yep.
Hey man, great conversation. Great talking to you.
Amazing,
Thanks
man.
for coming over here today. And
of course.
if you have anything to plug, go ahead and plug it. But otherwise, we'll wrap up.
To plug,
Yeah.
like a little end.
Yeah, like whatever. Like what's your Instagram? Where can people find you? Do you have any
Instagram
projects
is
you're working on?
Gianluca Ruggieri Chef, the Romano Eater on TikTok. Basically the same shit that you see on Instagram. It's over
Yeah.
there. That's it, man.
Hey,
Doing
thanks
a fun
for coming.
series. Oh yeah. So you saw my series that I'm doing, right?
Yeah.
Flavors of Italy.
Flavors of Italy. Yeah.
So I did the 20 regions,
yeah.
one savory dish. This is all I'm gonna say because I haven't said it yet.
Yeah.
In the first series, I did 20 savory dishes for every region in Italy. Mm-hmm. And now I'm doing a second season.
Okay.
So God knows what I'll be cooking if I did savory in the first one.
Yeah, it's hard to understand,
to
but
say
I'm
that. Yeah.
Maybe you guys can.
And I'm gonna end.
Figure it out.
I'm gonna end by saying this, and I'm gonna be very vulgar by saying this.
Good.
Eat whatever the fuck you want, and don't give a fuck about what people say about what you're eating. If you want to put parmigiano on your seafood pasta, fucking be my guest.
True.
You're eating it, not me.
Yeah.
Makes you happy, go for it.
Do what makes you happy, people. Thanks for
Always.
watching.
Ciao.
See ya. Love ya. Bye.